What were their names again? No.
Wait, hold on. Don't say it.
Don't tell me.
Don't wait.
Don't.
Wait,
Don't.
I actually forgot. Wait.
Iris?
No, that was the other book we read.
Iris.
Iris was from the other book we read.
Iris.
It was not Iris.
What if I just gaslight you and I'm like, no, her name was Iris?
Don't do that to me. Wait, I remember the names. Hold on.
Don't
right.
look.
I'm not looking. I think. Hold on, I know this. John Paul sounds wrong.
John Paul.
Isn't that John?
No.
Who's John Paul? Wait. Give me the first letter if you know it.
Hold on.
What were their names?
Xavier.
And
Samantha. Thank you.
Can I say something? Earth
Yes.
is kind of basic.
But her name is Samantha Diaz. So
Samantha.
She's from La Raza.
Sammy?
And you know what? I wasn't sure if he was too because it could be Javier. But I don't think they would spell it with an X. Would they?
Yes, they would. I've known Javier's that are spelled with an X.
Oh, I haven't. I've only seen them with J's.
I know 4. Shout out to all 4 Xaviers.
And I know 3 with J's. Shout out to you too. Okay.
Javier, Samantha. Mm-hmm. Have you ever had a Samantha change your life?
No, I've known Samantha's, but they haven't changed my life for the worst. Maybe
this is weird to say, but isn't it crazy how every Samantha out there's favorite color is green?
No.
Yes, that's true. Yes.
No.
Samantha is green. That's what it goes with.
Oh wait, I know more Samanthas than I thought. Oh my god, they're all coming back to
all
me.
the Sammys.
Yeah.
Every Samantha's favorite color is green.
That's so interesting. Why do you think that is?
Because they all meet up at night.
They're like green.
I know.
Okay. What else about Samantha? We're already starting with the book. Let's not start with the book yet. Let's discuss something more important.
Colors and names. All Samanthas are green. All Xaviers are blue and white.
No.
Yes.
Javier feels like a red to me.
Javier does. Xavier, blue and white.
Why blue and white?
Look at the name. Someone named Xavier out there with an X is like, she's right. Their room is checkered blue and white.
Oh my god. Okay. What other names?
What color do you think your name gives? I already know.
I think I would give a
je ne sais quoi.
Je ne sais quoi. I don't know, actually.
I feel like you're lilac, like lavender.
You think so?
Mm-hmm. That's your energy.
That is so funny that you say that because there was this one trend that I saw a long time ago that said something like input, I think your birthday, something about the birthday. I don't remember which numbers, like which combination of a birthday, or something about like when I was born, where I was born, something like that. I had to input it and it would give me my color that would signify where I'm at peace.
Oh.
And it was lilac. And
That's
it was literally the same color as my bedroom.
I remember it's that color. That's you. That's Yajaira.
Okay, well, Cheli, I feel like you're a yellow. Like a pastel yellow.
I get that a lot.
Like a light yellow.
I get that a lot.
A sunny yellow. Not mustard. You don't give mustard yellow. You give sunny, light, baby yellow.
Okay. Well, my favorite color is yellow. And then I really like forest brown and forest green. I like nature colors.
Okay.
I like colors you can find outside. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, a lot of yellow out there. Actually.
I think I see your favorite color outside.
Thank you. I get that I am yellow a lot.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay. Let me give you a name, and then let's see if we both think of the same color. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Wait. Okay.
Julian.
Tell me when you have it.
I have it. 1, 2, 3.
Blue. Green. No! Okay, maybe. If it's like Julian, then yes. If it's Julian.
Julian!
Wait.
It's because my nephew, his name is Julian, and he has these really pretty green eyes. So I'm just like, green.
Okay, what about, since we know so many of them, Melissa.
Melissa.
Think about it and then tell me when you're ready.
Okay, I have it. I don't know if you would agree with me though.
Maybe.
But this was the first color
That's the first color
that came to mind. I'm thinking of like a burgundy.
Okay, close. I'm thinking of like a lighter pink. We're in the same sense of that.
Okay, we're like
very
in the
light pink where it looks like off-white.
Okay.
That's what I think of.
Oh, I was
the
thinking
babiest of pinks.
Okay, I was thinking of a stronger color.
I get it, but I feel like that's two sides of the same coin. You know what I mean?
You're right.
It's like how people say like Thursday is the number 3. And I'm like, yes, I agree. Thursday's the number 3.
Okay.
And Thursday's also the color brown. And Thursday's also Thanksgiving. You know what I mean?
I would think Thursday is a blue.
No, that's Tuesday.
No.
Yes. Oh my God.
Tuesday is not brown.
Yes.
No, blue.
Blue. You're the one who said it.
Oh.
Tuesday is blue.
No.
Brown, probably.
Tuesday is like a green to me. Like an ugly green. Because no one likes Tuesdays.
Tuesdays are kind of, that's why they're a little gloomy. So blue.
No. I was born on a Thursday. Therefore, I say it's blue.
You just said Tuesday. Tuesday is blue. Thursday is brown.
What?
Yes.
Now you're kidding.
Okay, let's start from the beginning. January 1st.
We're gonna start from the first day in the calendar.
3 hours later, we have like this whole like notepad, and then this is this color, and then
we're gonna fight over that. Though. Out of everything, that's what just like.
Go ahead in the comments below. Agree with me that Thursday's brown, and it's also Thanksgiving and the number 3. It is.
I see the Thanksgiving, because obviously.
Yes.
But that's it.
And Tuesday's blue. Thank you. I rest my case.
There is no case.
I feel like I don't know how much we want to locate us.
Not too much. Don't locate me too much.
No, but I feel like the general, don't mean to shape it, but the general shape of where we're at is mentioned a lot in this book.
Okay.
We don't have to say where we're at, but if you're watching, you know what I mean? Oh, wait, let me mirror it.
I think people know. I think people can tell.
What gives it away?
What
gives it away?
I think people can tell that we're Cali girls. I feel like we've said it before, too.
I once visited a different state to visit family, and I had like the shortest conversation with a stranger, and I remember just ending it like, oh, thank you so much. Thank you for your time or whatever. And then she like stopped me and she's like, you're from California, aren't you? And I was like, yes. And she's like, are you from this area? And I'm like, yes. And she was like, I could tell by the accent. And I'm like, oh.
What accent?
Well, I'll be darned. I guess I'm Californian.
Then you start saying, California.
Really? That's the first California song you think of? Not Hotel California?
No,
California love.
I would think of that one. Maybe.
That's the one I think of.
No, I would think Katy Perry first.
Wait, what color when you think of California? Got
Yellow.
No. Green. Green. Okay, comment down below.
Okay, if you look at it in the...
Okay, if you look at the shape.
We're dry as hell, so it's yellow, girl. It's like, there's no green.
You're right.
Thank you.
You're right. Okay. I stand corrected. This is my formal apology. I'm not Californian.
But anyway, yes, it is mentioned a lot in this story. But before that,
okay,
Cheli, this is probably like our third Abby Jimenez book.
Yeah.
First one was Just for the Summer. No, that was
no, it was the Andrea Pitt.
Oh, so then this is our second one.
No, third, because we read a short story of her with the person who was a caretaker for their grandma.
That was her?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think talking about another Abby Jimenez story, do you think that can fix your life?
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Welcome to an episode of the Book Fix Podcast, a podcast where we fix lives one book at a time. I'm your host, Yajaira.
And I'm your host, Cheli. We're just two Californian girls about to talk about California. How did you feel when they would talk about certain areas in California?
I was like, girl, I was just there.
I know.
How did you know?
So funny. Before we start, I do want to mention that we do have a book club.
Oh, yes, we do.
We are in the month of May, so our May book club book read is Enchantra by Kaylee Smith. Kaylee Smith, just like I said.
Just like I said. Roll the tape.
Just like I said. We will not be reviewing it until the end of the month. So if you would like to join us on our journey reading that book, you can join our book clubs on Fable and Goodreads.
You can find us under the Book Fix Pod.
Or if you want to check our link tree where we have links to our book clubs and our every other social media thing we have, go ahead and check linktr.ee/thebookfix. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Let's get started.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Can you put the cover of the book up? Bah. Bah. When you saw this cover, did you think it was gonna be about what we read?
No, but it wasn't surprising to me because I feel like Abby Jimenez always has something serious happening in her story.
That being said, I don't like the cover for this story. I feel like I know there were trigger warnings, but
oh yeah, there were trigger warnings.
It was a lot, and I'm still drained from reading this book, so I'm kind of out of it. But let me read the trigger warnings. Very, very short trigger warnings.
I think it was like in a paragraph.
She wrote, "While my books are all rom-coms, there are still some themes in the story that may be triggering for some readers. If you feel like trigger warnings are spoilers, go ahead and keep reading. This book contains detailed descriptions of someone with advanced dementia. There's mentions of a cheating spouse of a side character, mention of child abuse past, mention of animal abuse, cruelty, neglect, and death. The main character's dog will never die. Sudden off-page death of a side character with a heart condition." I feel like, okay, before, when we were young, back in the day,
when we were starry-eyed, naive,
books didn't really have trigger warnings.
No, they didn't.
When did that become a thing?
I think when we stopped being starry-eyed, maybe.
Oh, when the gray set in.
I think people started complaining, probably, about being triggered. And then that's when trigger warnings. But even then, not every book has trigger warnings. Because remember, there have been some books that we've reviewed where I have said, I feel like this needed a trigger warning and it didn't have one.
Or there are books that one of us has read first and has told the other, I don't want to talk about this. Because we have had moments like that.
Yeah. Oh my God. I remember one time I texted you and I was like, huge trigger warning for this book. Which I don't think it had a trigger warning. Yeah.
I do remember that. I want to say, though, I think about myself being 18 and not yet having a stable job. So very much when I would come home from college, I would tell my parents, like, let's just go on a store run. I promise I'm not going to ask for anything. But, you know, we're 18. We always do.
We always ask for something.
And I remember, well, if I was a reader back then, and I would have walked down the aisle of books, and if I had seen a book like this, I would have grabbed it. If I had dealt with any of those trigger warnings, if someone had bought it for me, I would have still read it because I'm like, well, I have it now, so might as well read it.
Yeah.
I feel like covers should not be as misleading as this one was. I don't know. I didn't have an issue with it before, but I definitely had an issue with it in this one.
Okay.
I just didn't like it. It was a very serious book, and I wish like the cover would have been like the family, because I feel like that was the main part of the book. But I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, I definitely understand why you feel that way, but these types of covers are kind of just like in. They're kind of just like popular right now. And I feel like I was the one who had more of an issue with like the cutesy cartoon covers before. And I do understand that, yeah, what the cover looks like is portraying something completely different. Honestly, when we read the summary, I thought that this story was going to be more about them two like liking each other, him trying to get her to stay with him, but she being the one like, no, like we're this is too long distance, right?
Yes.
So I thought that's what the main focus was going to be about, but the family was a huge focus. But it didn't surprise me because it's Abby Jimenez. So I kind of just
Yeah, that's true.
I kind of just knew something serious was going to be happening.
I wonder if she's dealt with what she wrote about. You know what I mean? It's very in-depth, the things that she would write about.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's go ahead and get started. I don't remember the order of this story, so I'm just going to introduce both characters. So our main girl, her name is Samantha. At the beginning of the book, she's living in Minnesota, and she has an at-home social media job working for like a mustard company, like an organic mustard company.
So if you've seen like the funny Wendy's tweets where they're just like responding
to people
like in a sassy way, but it's like hilarious, that's basically her job. Or she'll make like pictures with like a funny caption about her mustard, whatever mustard brand she's working for. And Javier is a vet. And he had just purchased his own clinic. And so he's working when she comes in, and she has like a little kitten, and he's like checking this kitten. And the kitten doesn't have an anus, or something is wrong with it. And so he's trying to get her to understand, like, it's going to cost like $5,000 to get the surgery. So like
10,000.
Yeah. So like, I mean, if you can't afford it, then we might as well put the cat down.
And she was like, no, I'll just start like a GoFundMe. And he's like, you would rather do that and watch it suffer and then die than put it down right now while it's not suffering.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, people are innately good.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, people are innately horrible. And you're not going to get anyone who's going to, support you. But I guess the post she had made about her kitten had went viral. She had enough money, and then one of the last donations was $500 from him. And he just wrote, you were right. And it's just, I feel like that very much encapsulates who they both were at the beginning of the book, because she was very much an optimist. She, it looked like she had everything in check. But it was very much ignorance is bliss, because a lot of issues that this character was dealing with were in California. So her being in Minnesota was her kind of escape from this.
It was kind of like a shelter.
Yes. And then he is very much a pessimist, is very work driven, and really
has horrible bedside manners. Like his patients will tell him like, that's not how you talk to people. And he knows that. And he has good reviews, but the reviews do mention like he is a little grouchy, a little grumpy, but he knows what he's doing.
But his character, his whole thing about being successful, we're going to talk about this out of order. By the way, hella spoiler.
Oh, yeah, we're going to spoil the whole book.
Go read the book first, unless you just want to pretend you read the book and then listen to us and then go to book club.
Yeah.
But
you'll be ready.
Yeah, you know what? I think you will too. We'll quiz you at the end. Okay, so for him, he had horrible parents growing up. Very abusive.
Very, very abusive. His dad was abusive. His mom just kind of let it happen.
Yes.
And
but then became part of the abuse, right? She seemed like it.
I don't remember her becoming a part of it, but I mean, she just let it happen. So,
but
his whole like goal is basically just to prove to them that he's able to become successful, even though he was raised this horribly.
But I think by the point at the beginning of the story, they haven't talked in a long, long time.
Yeah, it's been like years. But obviously, like, they know that he has his own clinic, so he'll hear from other people like, oh, your parents said that you have your own clinic. They seem so proud of you. Like, so they'll be like boasting about him, like, yeah, my son, he's a vet. But even though they were so horrible to him.
So this is very grumpy ex-Sunshine at the very beginning. A month later, she comes to the clinic and she's asking for like a sign-off in order to get her cat to be able to fly. So they just need to check that it's healthy enough to fly. And she comes in and is holding the cat, and she's just like, would you like to see if he has an anus? Would you like to look at it? Yeah. And then he was like, actually, I really would.
Yeah.
And then
I thought it was funny how anytime he would see the cat, he would just like be checking the teeth, like just like out of routine. Just like, let me just make sure the cat is good.
It's so funny though, because there was a part where she was like, are you curious about his bowel movements? And he was like, yeah, I am. I took pictures. I know you were going to ask. And she's like showing it.
Yeah.
So the cat gets signed off and he's so confident. Just, do you want to go on a date later today or later? And she was like, yeah, but it has to be today. It's like, okay, let's go on a date today. Okay. And it's very like cordial. And it's funny because when she walks out, the two receptionists are like, oh my God, he's smiling.
I
He
know.
never smiles.
He never smiles. What's going on?
And then he like walks into his office and then walks back out and he's like, I'm going on a date later. And they're like, oh my God.
Yeah, they're so excited. Like, they love him.
I love workers like that.
They're just hyping him up.
Yes, it's so good.
But their first date was eventful.
Oh my
honestly.
God, it never ended.
It never ended, honestly. So they went to like an arcade and it was like a long date. And then at the end of it, they were like, hey, do you want to do this escape room? But it was like already midnight.
Yeah.
So the place was going to close in like an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And they just found a random worker around. And they were like, hey, can we just like use the escape room? And the guy was like, I mean, the guy's gone, but whatever.
I can let you in.
Go ahead.
And they finish it.
They finish it.
And it's
like
funny
a
because
spaceship.
The Come On Eileen song is playing. And it loops every 4 minutes. And they finish with 56 minutes, so 4 minutes to spare. And they're like, oh, the door's not open. Maybe just like if 4 minutes pass, it'll open. And 4 minutes pass, and the song keeps on looping. And they're like,
dude, that would drive me crazy.
They left us here.
I would just be like, please, somebody turn this song off.
So funny though, because can you imagine how triggered they would be? Grocery store and Come On Eileen starts, and they're like, oh my God, my past. So they just stayed there until 5 a.m. when the manager showed up. But them being there, they were so like vulnerable with each other. And it was funny because she asked him like, why'd you become a vet? And he was like, that doesn't seem like a first date conversation. Yeah. And she was like, well, this doesn't really seem like a first date situation.
And also she kind of realized, oh, so it's like a serious story. It's deep. Whatever the reasoning was, that's the origin of you.
Which I think we can talk about now. The reason that he became a vet was because with all the instability at his home, his dog was his like stability. And it sucked because his dog wasn't fixed and it was a girl, it was a female. So it would constantly get pregnant. And the dad would do horrible things to the puppies because he didn't want the puppies there. And so then he couldn't stand it. So he walked 4 miles to go to the nearest vet and completely told this vet his situation.
And was like vet, crying and bawling. I was like, I can't keep watching my dad do this.
And so then the vet completely did a full checkup on the dog, made sure the dog was okay. And I don't know if they fixed the dog too.
Yeah, they did.
Completely for free. And that was so nice.
That was really nice. That just inspired him. Like, oh my God, like I could change someone's life for the better, like this man did for me.
I don't know if you're a pet person.
No, I don't.
No, even if you don't, like, would you ever consider having a pet?
No.
I get it.
Because I had a pet and losing them is so devastating. I don't want to go through that again.
I don't think I've lost a pet yet.
You had the dog.
I didn't lose that dog though.
Oh.
I gave that dog to a family that needed it because they lost a dog. And also that dog wasn't mine. It was a whole situation, remember? Yeah. But to my 3 pets that I currently do have, they've just been winging it and making it. I thought I was going to lose one last month, remember?
Yeah.
And so when they gave me the call, like, she's totally fine, I had like oh my gosh.
See, that, I don't want to go through that.
It was so scary because we all have a family group chat. And in it, we were like, okay, she's going to the vet this day. And she did. And then the vet told us to do like this whole thing with her. And then they took her samples. And then we got this really cryptic voicemail like, you guys need to call me as soon as possible. And we were just kind of like, oh my God.
Like, it's serious.
Yeah, so then my sister was the only one available to call her. So my sister was just like, just preparing us if we need to put her down, who would be available to go put her down.
Yeah.
And the only ones available were me and my sister. So we were going to go on that Saturday. And then we got a call and it's like, oh no, she just has a stomach bug. Like, all she needs is this medicine and she'll be fine.
Oh my gosh, so then why did they have like that?
Right? And that's why my
message?
sister, she was like, oh my God. Because I guess the stomach bug is contagious, but nothing in our house is porous. So it was just kind of like, oh, you guys clean regularly. So yeah. And we like deep cleaned our house after they told us what she had. And she's fine now.
Okay, good.
Yeah, but it was really scary because after we got the news that she was fine, all of us were like, oh my God. But
I mean, you had your cats for a long time, so
yeah,
like you and your sister will be like,
I mean, the longest
getting old.
The longest one we've had is her, and we've had her for 13 years. So it's weird because I was a teenager when we got her. But that example of her, because she's been sick for a minute. She's 2 apples big, my cat.
Yeah.
When she started getting better, this is so recent. This was like last week when she actually has zoomies now. So after she goes to the litter box, she'll literally have the mood to just run around the house. Yeah. But she's still so tiny and she's not used to running. So she'll run, but she can't stop herself. So she'll crash into a wall. Because she's so small. And she's gaining back her weight, but she has no balance. So literally like a breeze of air will push her down. But she has the energy of a younger cat again. And caretaker exhaustion is so real. Because taking care of her the way we were for the amount of time that we were, oh my God, it really makes you, in the kindest way possible, it really makes you resent what you're taking care of. Yeah. You know, so.
I can understand that. Because obviously you love them, but it's kind of like, when do I get to rest?
Yes. Oh my gosh. So, I'm a cat person.
I'm not ruling it out though, but if I were to get a pet, it would be a dog.
I get it. I could see you with a dog, but it would be a little dog.
A small dog, yeah. A little tiny dog.
Would you get a purse dog?
Oh, yes. That's me. Just my little dog.
It's so funny because my aunt, she had the world's tiniest dog.
Really?
The smallest. It was like a purse dog, but that purse it's like a mansion in there for that dog. And she named the dog Petunia.
Aw, Petunia.
So like, and for short, it was Petu. So when Petu would come out, she was literally the smallest dog in the world. And then Petu would sneeze and it would like shake her whole life. Because it was too strong.
Oh my God. That's so cute.
So
I've mentioned to my husband, like, what if we get a bunny?
Oh my gosh.
We saw a bunny. We were at the Callejones. And we saw one.
California mentioned.
It was so cute. It was so cute.
Oh my gosh. I could see you with a pet. Not currently where you're living.
Not
but
here.
In the future.
Maybe in the far future.
Who knows? Like in a few years, you're going to have like goats and chickens.
Oh my God. I mean, my husband used to have a cow. 2 cows, I think.
Really?
And goats, yeah.
They can fit in here.
Girl, they can fit in here. So, but anyway, back to the story.
Yes. So both Samantha and Xavier are polar opposites, but their first date, they're just so into each other. And I think at the end of the date, because she gets home at 5 a.m., she has to go to the airport at 7:30 or be there by 7:30. But she invites him into his house just so she could pack. And he notices there's no furniture. And she's just like, oh, I'm moving. Today was my last day.
She didn't even tell him.
No, and he was sad. Really quiet. And she was like, you're mad at me. And he was like, no, I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at the situation.
We just had a beautiful, perfect date and now you're leaving?
You know, one thing I appreciate that this book kept consistent from beginning to end was the fact that there was no jealousy. They were into each other through and through and they were loyal. I'm so glad that wasn't the issue. Because there's relationships like that where the people are into each other, but there's like external forces that they both kind of need to deal with.
Yeah.
So
I was thinking the same thing, that
Yeah.
I'm glad that there was never a moment of like, well, I like him, but I mean, this guy's right here. He's just down the street.
It was funny though, because both of them had moments where they were both in a restaurant in Minnesota, and a girl came up. I think her name was Janessa.
Oh,
And
yeah.
when she walked away, she was like, Samantha was like, she doesn't like me. Did you guys date? And he was like, no. And she's like, why? I'm not into her. Obviously, I'm into social media influencers that love mustard. I mean, you know, he was
That part was really cute. Like, he had a whole ass list of her, of just like, you know, I just really like quirky girls who are just like a little bit money.
And then
who would drop their phone in the lake.
But then the same thing happens, like, the other, where she was talking about, like, oh, do you want a mustard gift bag for your coworker? And he was like, well, I thought you guys were out. Do you guys have more? And she's like, no, but like the main dude in like the department where they hold all of them, he has a big crush on me. I'm pretty sure that he can get us one.
Oh my
and
God.
He was like, should I be worried that he has a crush on me? I was like, no, because I'm dating a hot ass vet.
Yeah.
Of course not. So I just loved like the security they both had. And even when
they were dating and they would go months without seeing each other, it was never like a worry of, oh yeah, he's gonna find someone else. They were very, very secure. Because I don't think I'm strong enough for that.
Yeah, that's a lot. That is
months?
A lot. I don't think I'm strong enough for that either. So she moves to California and he stays in Minnesota. And because they're so into each other, I'm going to talk about this quick, like their relationship part. Because they're so into each other, both of them start like saving up a lot of money. And for him, it means working 7 days a week, one graveyard shift, and several like double shifts working at the ER for the pet hospital. And it's a lot on him. But
then he blows through his savings too, because there was moments where he had to go to California to see her. And it was just like, oh my God, I just spent like, I think there was a moment where he was like, I spent like 5,000, 3,000.
Yeah, because it was 1,400 and 1,400 back.
Yeah.
And it was just like, if I had to, you ask me for that money, I feel like it'd be like lint.
I know, so I have nothing. I got nothing to give.
I'll walk. No, it's okay, I'll walk.
So yeah, he's like working himself to exhaustion.
Yes.
And she's also really exhausted because she's taking care of her sick mom, and she's going through, you know, she's going through a lot herself.
Let's finish talking about their relationship before we talk about that. So, one thing I really, really, really liked was how open their communication was, more when they started feeling sure about that their thing was like for the long run.
I thought that part was so cute when he was like, called her and he was like, wait, are you my girlfriend? Is this your way of asking me to be your girlfriend? Yeah. Do you want to be my girlfriend? Yeah. I was like, okay.
Okay, bye.
Have a good day. Bye.
Yeah, she is my girlfriend, everyone.
Yeah, because his coworkers were like, wait, is that your girlfriend?
But I also really liked that part where it was sad, but when they were both at their breaking point, when they go visit each other without telling each other, and they end up...
that was so sad.
It was sad. And he was sick, but he didn't want her to come back to California, so he went back to Minnesota while she waited, and then had pneumonia. So he had to go to the hospital the entire time they were supposed to spend together. But when they were in the hospital, she was like, literally, look at you. Like, you should break up with me. Yeah. And he was like, do you want to break up? And she was like, no, obviously not. We're in love with each other, but look at you. And he was like, well, it's worth it if I'm with you. And I'm like, damn, I can't do that. That's so hard.
They are strong for that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It's just, I don't
This
know.
was the most stable relationship I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Before we talk about their ending, why don't we talk about Cali?
California?
What do you love about Cali? The palm trees. The fact that everywhere you go, it's Hollywood out there.
Oh, yeah.
What's your favorite Californian stereotype that people have that they ask you about?
That's a good question.
My
oh my God. Oh, mine is like, do you just see celebrities everywhere you
Yes,
go?
that's what I was gonna say.
I'm like,
what's the last celebrity you saw?
where do you think I am? You think I'm just like in the Hilton and Beverly Hills?
Oh
like,
my gosh, this is gonna age me. This is gonna age me.
Oh,
but I remember my first ever job with someone here where we're currently at. I told them that I lived close to Hollywood before. And they were like, oh, did you ever crash into David Dobrik? You know, when he was,
When he was.
But I was just kind of like, no. Like,
you could have.
We don't run the same circle.
But there was a moment you could have.
You know what?
We won't
You're
say.
Right. You're right.
We won't say when and where, but you could have.
For some reason, our circles almost touched.
But you went the other way.
Isn't that funny though? But I remember they asked me that, and I was like, no. Like, what do you think it is that everyone in Hollywood parties all the time?
Yeah.
It's scary out there.
I'm a homebody. I can't.
I know.
I can't do it.
It's so funny because in California, if you saw at the beginning, such a long state. Very different in every area you visit. But the part that everyone knows and the part that's always popping, when you visit it, it's like you gotta be ready.
It can be a lot.
It's a lot. So, yeah.
No. My husband told me yesterday, he was like, you know, if I get a really secure paying job in LA, like I might be down to move over there. And I was like, well, good luck. I'm not me.
Oh my God. But who knows? He comes back with you know, those really, when you're so rich, they give you those debit cards that weigh like a pound.
Oh,
like they're like the really, he's holding that, and he's holding up a boombox, and California Girls is blasting, and you're like, yes!
You know what? Yes, I'm down. Oh my God.
I remember when I met someone and they were like, oh yeah, I'm from LA. La La Land is super relatable. And I'm like, girl.
No. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Well, I mean, for her,
Are you good?
You ever been stuck in traffic and you guys all just started dancing and singing?
Oh my God, that's my favorite thing about California. I go to flash mobs and somehow become part of it all the time.
Yeah, that's my favorite part about it.
Oh my God. Have you ever actually seen a flash mob? Name how many flash mobs you've been a part of. Go.
A part of? 0. How many I've seen?
I've
like 2?
You've seen 2 flash mobs?
Yeah.
Maybe. I think I've seen 1. But it felt like I knew. It's not like people were like, look at this, huh? Yeah. They just all got information.
Yeah. No, they knew.
They knew.
This was planned.
Yeah. And I don't know why they didn't invite me.
I could have been a good addition to it. I'm just saying. I don't know.
I jumped in.
You're like not even in the same choreography. You're just like. So yeah, so she's in California.
So it's not good in California.
No, it's actually really sad for her. We don't have to get too deep into it, but it is very triggering because her mom is dealing with dementia. And
I don't mind talking about it. I feel like this is going to be the longest part we talk about.
Oh, really? Because like I was thinking about just like kind of like skipping through it.
Really? I feel like Abby Jimenez, this is the biggest part of the whole book.
No, I agree, but like, what do we have to say about it? It's really sad. Like, she's going through a lot with her family because obviously, like, everyone wants to help the mom, but I feel like the grandma and the dad are the ones who are mostly dealing with like the worst parts of it, which is, you know, going through the nighttime routine and like when she's, you know, erratic, like they're the ones who have to like kind of like de-escalate the situation. And unfortunately the grandma ends up passing away because she was having heart problems, but they didn't know that she was having heart problems. Only the dad knew.
But she didn't want anyone to know.
She didn't want anyone to know. And so the dad had to sit everyone down and was like, I'm exhausted. Like, I'm tired. And like, we have to think realistically, like, what is best for your mom, but also what's best for us. Like, so obviously like the kids, because it's her sister. Why do I want to say Geneva?
No, Geneva. Yeah.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay. her sister Geneva, who has 2 kids,
And Tristan.
and Tristan, the brother. And so the kids were like, we want our mom here. We want our mom to be home. But now the main caretaker is gone. So now it's kind of like, okay, how do we
make it work?
How do we make this work? And weirdly enough, unfortunately, Samantha ends up being fired from her mustard job. And so now she becomes the main caretaker.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also like drama happening because like Tristan is upset with the dad because the dad has been leaving through the night, or like sometimes he'll leave through random nights.
And then come back super late, like at 2 or 3 a.m.
Yeah, and he'll be like, who are you going to see?
At
like, this is cheating, right?
Yep. And even like one of the times that the dad leaves, he forgets to lock the door and the mom makes her way out.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Oh,
and then there was like a
horrible.
huge fight because Samantha thought it was Tristan who forgot to lock the door, and she got so mad at him, insulted him, and then he got so angry with her.
I feel like Abby did a good job portraying what it's like to live with someone who you are caretaking.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, oh my God, it really sucked because seeing it from an outside perspective and just reading it, you get frustrated because you're like, why are you all fighting? You're all on the same side.
Yeah.
Like, don't you hear yourselves?
But I feel like you're so exhausted.
Yes.
That you're not thinking rationally. I mean, even Geneva, like, stopped. She was angry with the dad, but then she was also angry with Tristan. So it was like she wasn't talking to either of them.
Yeah.
But she was still, like, there, you know?
And
like, you have to be there.
And it's hard because after the grandma passed and when Samantha lost her job, everyone had, like, a talk. And it's like, Mom did not want to be sent to a home.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to all step up. And they're like, yeah, we'll step up. And no one did.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just Samantha who was caretaking.
And she was exhausted.
And it sucked because she was now feeling what it felt like to be a full caretaker.
Mm-hmm.
And before, she would want to stay with her mom as long as possible. But as soon as her dad came home, because she had the mentality of like, oh, you know, he's going to work 9 to 5. He doesn't want to work when he comes home. But then she started thinking about it like, him being at work is a break from this. Mm-hmm. So I don't care. You have mom now.
Yeah.
And it became kind of like a chore. And it sucks because you do get stuck in that mentality of like, I'm tired and I don't have any time for me. Mm-hmm. So they would work themselves to the bone, both Samantha and Xavier, and then see each other. And I felt like a good portion of them hanging out was sleeping.
Yeah, like they were just resting. Like they passed out together.
Yeah. It makes me so sad.
It makes me sad, but like I agree with you that Abby Jimenez did a really good job at like writing this in a realistic way.
Mm-hmm. So, how did you feel reading this book? Did you have to stop at all?
No, it did make me really sad. I did cry in this book out of like all of the books that we read recently. And you've been over here like crying and crying over all of these books. This one did break me though. I feel like I've been strong until this one. But I did kind of like appreciate it because even though it was really sad, like it was nice to see that Samantha was so like, no, I want to be in Minnesota with you because I love you, but like I need to be in California because my mom needs me. I don't know how much longer I have with her, so I have to be here. And I loved seeing that Xavier was just like, okay, like he was willing to kind of like change his life to like for her to be able to be in his life. You know what I mean? Yes. Like he was like, okay, well we don't have to compromise that then.
Yep. It was a lot reading this, and I cried throughout an entirety of the book. I got a good TikTok out of it.
Really?
I got a TikTok of me like fully teared up, and I'm like, I love reading. Go watch the book.
Oh my God. I feel bad.
It's okay. I mean,
I was worried. I was thinking like, I feel like this is going to trigger her, but I don't know.
I think though that there is a little bit of comfort seeing that my situation wasn't that different from the way the book put it.
Yeah.
I actually feel like the fights these siblings would have with their dad and the stresses of like there was one instance that the mom went through that was like, wow, that literally happened. Like I I can see this and visualize it, and the way they're responding is exactly how we responded when I was in that situation.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of comfort knowing that there's not a wrong way to do it.
Like, you're not alone.
Yeah. And I had a talk with one of my friends who, I feel like it's weird. I have a friend who our lives aligned and we went through the exact same thing around the exact same time.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And so I remember, well, around the same time, because mine happened 6 months before and then hers happened after.
Oh, okay. Then I think I might know who it is.
Yes. So then I remember talking to her at the very end of her process of being a caretaker. So she was already at the hospice process. And I told her the same thing a hospice worker told me, which was like, it's okay to like not be okay. Like, it's okay that you're tired. It's okay that you're angry. You're doing everything you need to be doing. And it's like, dang, sometimes you need to hear that, because even our main character, Samantha, felt like she was doing nothing. Because there was this one part that was so, I don't remember what it was, but it was so gut-wrenching because everyone was freaking out and she was walking around doing everything. Like, she was making sure her mom had her medicine, she was making sure the house was okay. And then after she finished, she was like, I felt like I just did nothing. Like, what else do I have to do? And she was trying to think of something, and it was like, that's exactly how it is. Like, you don't know what you need to do, but you know you need to do something. Because then you feel like after everything has happened, you feel like you will regret something. And there's always regret, but then at the end of the day, you always have to think about, like, just like how they did, like, you still have your family, you still have to be a team, and you still have life after that person.
And I mean, it was really nice to see, like, how they started, which was like, I mean, they weren't taking their roles that seriously in the beginning because they had the grandma, but once the grandma passed away, they were kind of like, oh yeah, we'll totally pitch in. And then it was mostly Samantha. And then it was more of like, okay, no, like, seriously.
Yeah.
Like, we need to all step up.
And I appreciate Hank. So
oh my god, Hank.
Do you want to talk about him?
Dude, I loved Hank.
Who is he?
So Hank was an older man who was retired. He used to be a vet as well, and he kind of just like showed up one day. Oh no, the two co-workers found him, and they were like, "Hey, Xavier, this guy wants to talk to you." And so Xavier talks to him, and Hank basically told Xavier, "Hey, so listen, I'm kind of bored. Like, I don't have much to do. I kind of want to stretch a little bit. Like, I would like to help you out. I don't need you to pay me, honestly, because I don't need it." So he was gonna go like Mondays, so every other day. So like Tuesdays, Thursdays.
Yes,
So
and
something like that.
When Xavier asked him, like, why do you want to do this? That's so much work. And he was like, well, my wife passed recently. And, you know, it's better to be busy with company.
And it's better to be doing something that makes you happy, because he really did love his job.
Yeah.
And so Xavier takes him up on it. And it was really sad because at that point, I think that was when the grandma had passed away. And so he couldn't even really like prep Hank. He just left to California.
And Hank was so good with it.
Yeah, he was like, no, it's chill.
Go do what you got to do.
It's fine. I don't care.
Yep.
And so he ended up going to California. And then once he's like so overworked, so tired, he kind of has like this heart-to-heart with Hank. And Hank tells him like, well, I mean, if you love this girl, like, I think you should do what you can to be with her more, because I would give anything to be able to spend more days with my wife. And
then the reveal, dude.
The reveal, dude. Oh my god. So Hank basically is like, hey, is it you? Because, you know, you looked familiar. I used to actually work at this clinic. And then this little boy came in with, the dog was named Winnie. And he seemed so distressed. And like, you looked really familiar. So is that you? Because like, I haven't forgotten you.
And that was the vet that he took his dog to while he was going through the abuse.
And so this was a big moment for Xavier, because he was like, oh my god, you literally inspired me. Like, you're the whole reason why I even am this. And I thought it was so sweet because Hank was like, I know how your parents are. I don't know how your relationship with them is currently, but like from what I'm picturing, it's kind of giving me like you're trying to spite them, like you're trying to do this to prove them wrong, but you're kind of like holding yourself back. Yeah. And I just want you to know that I'm proud of you. Like, I'm so proud of you for being able to do this, you know?
But he was saying, too, because Xavier's whole thing was, like, if I leave, I'm bankrupt. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to have anything. Yeah. And Hank was like, you know how many clinics I lost? Mm-hmm. This is my 3. Mm-hmm. I had 3 and none of them worked out.
And he was like, sometimes you lose some clinics and it's fine.
But he was saying, but at the end of the day, I had my wife. Yeah. And I would do anything to have more time with her. Mm-hmm. So while you're still young, you should take advantage of the time you have. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where that conversation ends. And by this point, Samantha and her family have a system that works with the mom. Because they had a moment where they were all at their, like, boiling point. Mm-hmm. And I think Xavier was there during one of my favorite scenes where, like, the mom was having like a whole fit and she was like, I need to go to the grocery store. I need to go. Yeah. And all of them were yelling at each other because the dad was trying to hold her back. She started throwing things and everyone was trying to like wrangle her. And they were yelling at each other like, why? I thought you went to the grocery. I did. It's full. Don't you remember? I thought you did this. And then Xavier just goes like, maybe she's hungry. Yeah. And then they realized that throughout everything that happened with the funeral for the grandma, everyone forgot to feed her. Mm-hmm. And so Xavier kind of puts his foot down and he's like, let's all go to the kitchen and let's all eat. Mm-hmm. Let's just eat. And Samantha's like, how did you do that? And he's like, well, most of my patients, they're nonverbal. Like, yeah.
They're all nonverbal.
Yeah, so.
And he's like, honestly, I just start with food and work my way down. Yep. But yeah, that was a really good scene.
But I really like that because it's so real.
And it's so real because everyone else is so like in it that you kind of like forget. You just like forget, you know, because of the stress. Mm-hmm. So since he was like an outsider, he was like, let's just feed her maybe.
I like how quick the family took him in.
I know.
You know, because there was even a part where he was texting them and it was like, oh yeah, it's in the text we have that doesn't have Samantha in it. I'm like, they have their own group chat
without her. That's so sweet.
That is very sweet. So how does this story end?
So it ends after that conversation with Hank. I think he worked there just like for a couple more months or a month
until their 1-year anniversary came up.
Yeah, so in their 1-year anniversary, like Samantha was already thinking like, oh yeah, I'll see you next month, babe. Yep. And then he shows up and he gets down on one knee. And he's just like...
Well, it's not just him that shows up. It's him and his dog.
Winnie. Not Winnie. Jake from State Farm. Yeah.
His dog. And then she looks over and it's also his SUV is there. So he didn't take a plane. Yeah. And she was like, what are you doing? And he gets down on one knee. And says that... I think he tells her that he gave up the clinic. Like, it's still there. Yeah. But his life is with her.
Yeah. This is where my home is. With you, girl.
But it's so funny because him asking for, like, to marry is, okay, I'm super bankrupt. I'm broke. I got so much debt. The IRS hates to see me. And she was like, but you're asking me to marry you? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, yes, absolutely yes.
I'm going to take you and all your debts, babe. See, that's real love.
It's funny. That's she's like love. Saying yes. He mentions the IRS and she's like, the IRS.
Ooh, never mind.
Actually,
can you pay your debts first?
They know me. They know my face. They can't see me.
That would be you.
I'm good with the IRS. My FBI agent.
You had a moment.
I still owe them money. I always owe them money. Oh. Gosh. But it's okay. We're tight now. But the story ends, I think it's like 11 months later.
Oh, yeah.
And they're taking their mom's old car. And they're very nervous. They're like, okay, this might not end up good. So let's put her in the middle. And we just want to drive her down, see what she remembers. And so they're all prepping for it. And Xavier is with Geneva's 2 sons. Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah, they want to come to work with me, so I'm taking them.
Mm-hmm.
And then so she's saying bye to her husband because they're now married.
Mm-hmm.
And while they're driving down, they open the, ¿cómo se llama? The glove compartment. And all of the missing jewelry from the mom's jewelry box, she's been stuffing it in there. And they're just like cracking up because it was like, oh my God, it was here the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Man. Oh, that last part wrecked. It wrecks me right now, but I think I'm all cried out.
Yeah.
Oh
you're
my
exhausted.
God. That, it's just so like, dang, this just felt like real life.
Abby Jimenez, you're going to be hearing from her lawyers.
It's just so sad.
Yeah, it was really sad. But I gotta agree with you, though, that it kind of felt like comforting, I guess. I think because the whole family kind of realized, like, no, we're a team. Like, we have to stick together in order to help our mom.
Yep. Dang. Felt like one thing after another. Okay. Now to put me in that situation, long distance, I would not have been strong enough. First date, I leave, I'm gone, changing my number.
What is the furthest you're willing to drive for someone? Oh.
I don't know, because I drive a lot.
You do drive a lot, so does that make it harder for you?
I was talking to someone who lived... Okay, hold. This is California. If you're watching, it's kind of like a backwards letter J. At the top of the letter J and like at the bottom of the letter J, that was kind of like the distance.
Girl, no.
And no, yeah, it didn't work out. But that's what I mean. Like, that's crazy. I feel like me being a Pisces, I need someone to be there for me.
No, I agree with you. I agree. I just feel like, listen. I might forget you if I don't see you.
Yeah, yes. Me when I don't look in the mirror.
Whoa, that's what I look like.
No, yeah, I have object permanence.
Do you?
I never text anyone back. You know this about me.
Yeah, that is true.
I will only text back people that I know I'm going to see soon. So
because you're sweating. You're like, oh my God.
Well, it's because I think about situations like, is this pressing? You know? And it sucks that I think like that.
It is pressing. With me, it's pressing.
Well, I feel like out of all of my friends, I text you back like as soon as I am able to.
Yeah.
With my other friends, I feel so bad, but sometimes I don't get back to them.
Are you the type to be like weekly?
Oh
like once a week? I'm assuming because of your schedule, it would be like maybe Sunday to Sunday.
You know, that's kind
of Sunday to Saturday.
That's partly why I post a lot on Instagram, because that's the only way I could update my friends.
Oh, okay.
In a very general sense. Because like that's how most of my friends, they'll comment on that.
And they'll be like, hey.
And then I'll make a post that's very general on Instagram and be like, a lot of you said this. Well, this is what I got to say to that. Because that's the...
Oh, okay.
I'm so tired.
It's like you're updating your fans. Like, hey, guys.
My fans. It's just me singing in my car.
Yeah.
But...
No, I love that, though.
Oh, thank you. I felt like this story was really, really, really good. I wish that I would have read this slower. I think I needed to, but
yeah,
we really wanted to finish this, so I literally just powered through. I think I reached, because this book is around 300 pages, I think I reached like the last 80 pages, and I did not stop crying. And I already had my makeup done.
Aww.
And then when I finished, I just let the tears flow for a bit because I didn't stop crying until like 20 minutes later.
Aww,
so I was literally like, okay, no, it's fine. And I was like, okay, I'm good. She's dry. There's nothing else. She's dehydrated. Yeah. That's SpongeBob meme. Like a dry sponge. Yeah. That was me. And then I looked in the mirror and my foundation, you could see the trickles.
The trails.
That cleaned.
Well, it's kind of beautiful. I don't know.
I'm still kind of, I feel like I look a little busted, but I feel like
no,
I'm okay.
You don't.
Thank you.
You look great.
It was a lot. It was a lot. I told my sister about it, and I told her that she should read it. And then I also texted one of my friends who I think would really like this book But she was also kind of like, I feel like that's a read a chapter a month type book for me. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, it is a lot. It's very heavy.
Yep. You did it again, Abby. Maybe use a different cover next time.
Yeah, maybe. What do you think the cover should have looked like?
I would have liked the family sitting at a dinner table. And I would have liked if the page that had the trigger warnings was very big. Like the font was really big, or like a list. And then her being like, well, she did say a very detailed of blank. But that trigger warning looks so tiny. Mm-hmm. I feel like you needed a bigger font. So, yeah.
I kind of feel like the way that she wrote her trigger warning, it was just a paragraph. So it kind of makes it hard to, like, I don't know, because most trigger warnings, it's a list.
It should be a list.
And I feel like a list is easier for me to kind of like grasp it, I guess.
Do you feel like trigger warnings are spoilers?
Yeah, some of them.
Yeah.
Some of them are, because, I mean, if you're going to write main character death.
Which one?
Excuse me? That's a huge spoiler.
That's true.
I don't know. I think they are, but I think they're important to have. So I do like when authors have it, and then they'll say, like, here's your warnings. If you don't want spoilers, skip or whatever.
And that's exactly what she did. Mm-hmm. I just felt like there was just so much more. Mm-hmm. She should have added a few more.
Yeah.
But
I kind of like emphasize that it is like a huge part of the story.
Yep.
You know?
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised that the mom didn't pass throughout this story. But I guess that's very real.
She was young.
Yeah.
She was like in her 50s, I think.
Yeah. And dementia is very hard to kind of pinpoint an end date for.
Yeah, it is. I mean, they even said, like, because she's young, she probably has a long time still.
Yeah.
I think the issue is more of, like, you're forgetting, like, to eat or something.
But I think they decided... No, they were going to send her to a home.
They were.
But then they all decided, like, but we want her to stay here. Mm-hmm. So what do we do?
Yeah. So
which I thought was a really healthy conversation. So
they had to all pitch in then. Mm-hmm. How did you feel about the dad?
I did not like him. Mm-hmm. And I think after the mom had passed, if I was any of the siblings, I probably would not talk to him anymore.
Really?
That's just me, though.
I definitely felt bad for him, but the way that he was communicating how he was feeling, I felt like it was already at the boiling point. Like, it was already like, you know, like you're communicating in a way where it's like you're pissed off.
Yep.
So if you would have just like explained yourself before that, you know, in a calm way, then maybe we could have gotten somewhere.
I just feel very strongly about the whole in sickness and in health.
Oh, yeah. But it's so sad because I feel like a lot of the times when it's men, when it's the man who's not sick, the women... Wait, did I say that right? When it's the man who's sick, the woman sticks around. When it's the woman who's sick, the man does not stick around.
Well, and it sucks because a lot of common... From what I've read, because I remember going down these threads when I was going through this... a lot of the threads I read often said, like, married men are usually not faithful. Mm-hmm. And the excuse they'll give is like, well, you know, a man has his needs.
Yeah.
And it's like, shut up. Like, that's so bad to say. But then I agreed with the dad when he was like, you're not there during the nightly routine. Mm-hmm. You don't know how hard it is. And I can't imagine... Such a sad thing to say. I can't imagine seeing the love of my life not remember me every single day. That feels really sad. And for you to just move on from it, because you can't blame them. Mm-hmm. But because of caretaker exhaustion, there will be days where you do blame them.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. So I get it, but I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
And people may disagree with me, but I feel like it's harder if you haven't been through it, you know? And I do think that when someone passes, when someone's going through this process, it makes or breaks a family. It just depends on what you're willing to do. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. I get where the dad was coming from, though. I do get it. I just don't... I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either. And I understand, but it's also like you made a vow. You made a vow. You were thinking about it then.
Because I think he even said, like, whatever he was doing, it was to make sure that he was feeling okay when he came home. So he's like, whatever I'm doing to make myself okay.
I wonder what you're doing.
Oh my God.
Out there having threesomes and shit.
You're going through it. We're all going through it. And I would argue too, I would argue too, yes, this woman is a part of your life. This is our mom. She's our whole life. So you can't say we don't get it.
Yeah.
Because we do. So I think that, I don't know, my belief, because we don't know how people with dementia are and what they're truly thinking.
That's true.
But I just feel like sometimes even if you forget a person, you don't forget a feeling.
That's true.
And because there was a part with the mom in this book where she saw when Xavier proposed, she clapped.
Oh, that part was because it was like, because you don't forget love, like you don't forget the feeling of love.
That's all I'm gonna say. That will make me cry.
Yeah, so Abby, you did it again.
You did it again. This is a 5-star.
You bitch.
Oh my God. This is a 5-star through and through. I'm gonna write a big ass Goodreads post about this because I could cry behind the screen. I don't want to cry now because I realized I'm kind of an ugly crier. So
go follow our TikTok because I'm sure she'll post it.
I made sure. No, dude, before I posted it, I had my freaking beauty sponge and I was like, okay, not too bad.
I look hideous, but not too hideous.
I know.
Yeah, I would agree. 5 out of 5. It was a really, really good book.
Dang, Abby. We weren't going to read this.
We were not going to read this. It was a lot. And honestly, I would not have blamed you if you told me, like, I can't. I don't want to talk about this.
I was going to.
Really?
I think I was on chapter 4 or 5 last night. And I had to put it down. And I was going to text you. But it was like 1 in the morning. But I was going to text you, like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
But I was like, no.
I would have understood. I would have understood, by the way. Like, if you would ever tell me, like, I can't talk about this, I would get it.
Yeah. I think talking about it is good, though. I feel like that, you know that Andrew Garfield video?
Don't do this to me. Yeah.
The whole, like...
when he talks about his mom?
Yeah, and how... when you cry, it means that there's just so much more love to give.
Yeah.
I get it, King.
I get it, King. He really slayed that. Okay, let's not talk about that, please. Anytime he talks about that, I'm like,
oh, I know. It's so sad.
Can't.
That being said, if you are listening to us in audio form, whether that be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or anywhere you get your podcasts on, thank you so much. If you could please leave a rating of 5 stars.
That would really mean the world to us because it just puts us in other people's feeds more. We get recommended more. And we have seen that people have given us 5 stars and we really, really appreciate it.
Yes, it would be so nice if you did. If you want to leave a review recommending us our next read, please something less sad. I think I'm all cried out for the month.
Yes, please. So we want romance, but like fluffy romance.
Yeah, no bad things ever.
No bad vibes.
Yes.
Abby, stay away from us. Stay away for like 2 months. 2 months.
And Abby's like, you want this arc? No, Abby. No.
Get it away, Abby.
Please, it's not sad. Look at the cover. No, I know your games. I know your tricks.
It's like the trigger warning is like double. It's just like longer.
If you want to support us and you have a little bit of extra money, what can they do?
So if you're looking for a way to support us just a little bit more, we do have a Patreon, which you can find at patreon.com/bookfix. But if you don't want something that's monthly, we do also have a Ko-fi, which is ko-fi.com/thebookfix or buymeacoffee.com/thebookfix.
If you would like to, if you're watching us, thank you so much if you can hit that notification bell because we post every Tuesday and Thursday. Oh, and like, comment, and subscribe, please. It really, really helps. I feel like we're funnier in video.
I don't know. Too. Like, you get the visuals.
You get the visuals of it. And our cover, banger. We actually made this cover. If you want to go watch our video when we made it.
That was really fun.
We kind of just talked about life.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice. It's nice to do that sometimes.
It is.
If you want to support us on social media or would like to join our book clubs on Fable and Goodreads, or would like to see our Google Forms and you don't want to deal with social media but still want to recommend us a book, you could do it through that. All of those links are found on our Linktree, linktr.ee/thebookfix. Thank you.
Thank you.
Why don't we read a positive and negative review?
All right.
I kind of want to do negative.
Okay.
I want to do negative so I can disagree with it. This 1 star comes from Temi, who wrote, I kept reading because I wanted to see how this book and story ended, and it did nothing for me. All of a sudden, 90% into this book, Samantha realized that Xavier has been killing himself mentally and physically. And I was like, girl, where was this 40% before? The ending solution that Xavier made truly pissed me off because why is this man giving everything up for this relationship when Samantha probably would not do the same? The plot of this book takes place over a year, and I swear these characters were happy without multiple traumas bearing down on them for the last 5 pages of the book and the epilogue. This book is a giant no for me.
Okay, so this review comes from Nullifer. They gave it 5 out of 5 and they wrote, I'm a devoted fangirl of Abby Jimenez's book. She knows exactly how to tug at heartstrings and compose a unique melody that resonates deeply. She never sugarcoats difficult, triggering topics or handles them with kid gloves. Yet her tender and genuine approach always touches your heart, melting it while reminding you of the beautiful moments and cherished people in your life. Her writing is like a triple chocolate lava cake for my soul. Each layer brings an even greater rush of emotion and euphoria.
Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Dude, I'm hungry.
Oh, me too. Should we get somewhere?
No, stop.
Should
Wait.
we?
I'm so down. I deleted all food delivery apps off my phone.
You're so strong, Queenie.
Have you done that?
No.
I did that the other day because I was like, it's gonna draw me back in. And it's funny because sometimes I'll search my apps for it. And
I forgot that I had a weak moment. All right, we're gonna eat something.
Bye.
Bye.